Hi, welcome again to this channel. Today we're going to be covering the topic of how important is introversion and extroversion, which are two polar opposite personality styles. You can actually find out more about this with the Myer Briggs personality assessment test, which is very comprehensive and can give you an insight as to what your personality. There's actually about 16 different personality types on the Myer Briggs personality assessment, and it covers a lot of different aspects of life when you're an introvert, extrovert, or a combination in between. Why is it important in a relationship to know if, when you're choosing to date someone, specifically if conversation is important to you or if you prefer silence? Introverts tend to get their energy from being quiet, being away from people, being in their own mind space, and not interacting, because that tends to use up a lot of energy, and they don't really uh, feel that the only way they can actually have a surge of energy build up is when they're quiet, alone, not speaking, and in their own space. So that's how an introvert gets their energy. The opposite is true, and to different levels, because it's all on a continuum. So when you have an extrovert usually loves to talk, they love to interact, they love to feel connected, they like being around people. And that can be whether it's just an activity, whether it's a conversation, discussing a specific topic, playing a game, or even feeling connected while watching a movie together. There's a difference between feeling connected and watching a movie together and having a sense of that connection, or actually feeling like you're sitting there on your own. And that is going to be a big contrast for an extrovert and an introvert, where the person who's the extrovert, when the introvert is in their own space and disconnected, the extrovert feels alone even though they're sitting next to the other person. And this is a dynamic that happens when you have someone that switches off and they are in their own space, in their own head, and they're not interacting with you on a regular basis. Physical contact is interaction, having a comment here and there, interaction, looking into each other's eyes, having a sense that you have togetherness is what feeds the energy for an extrovert. And unfortunately, the true introvert finds that too much when it's ongoing. And so that means it's going to impact on, if you're going to live with someone and there's another person there, this is where a sense of loneliness and aloneness can happen, even though there's someone else in the home, because you feel that the other person's not available. It can also happen when someone looks at their phone all the time and they're not really with you. There's a sense of this can also happen if you are together on a date and the person that you're with answers the phone and has a whole conversation, interrupted you while you're in the middle of speaking, and then proceeds to hang up and then be thinking about that conversation while you're sitting there waiting for this person to come back and connect with you on what the conversation was about and continuing that. So this can actually add up, and it can create a lot of resentment and a lot of hurt. So be very conscious, and knowledge is power. You need to know yourself before looking for someone, and when you start meeting people and when you start dating, just notice how interactive the conversation is if you're an extrovert. Notice if this person is draining you if you're an introvert. Notice if the exchange is sucking energy from you and you just don't have it available and you want it to stop. These are really important signals for discovering whether it's going to be a problem long term. Beyond all of this, most relationships require an overlap that is enough to be able to sustain and continue the relationship. If there's too much of a gap, it's going to create tension and conflict that will build up over time. So this was just a small video, just a short video, to just give you a little bit of an insight on this particular aspect that a lot of people don't talk about. How do you create a relationship and build a relationship with someone that you can't have conversation with, or that someone wants to have conversation and you just want to have the experience of just empty space, let's call it that, empty space without any interjection from the other person. So those personality traits are really important. I hope this helps. Please like, share, and subscribe so this content can go out to a lot more people who may find it useful. And in prevention being better than the cure, it's always good to have the information up front rather than be deep in the middle of it and then getting hurt and having to pull yourself out. So thanks for watching. I do free strategy calls if any of you are interested in just having a chat and talking about your attachment trauma, attachment injury, attachment styles. All of that needs to be resolved before you even start dating or looking for someone, so you don't bring too much baggage into the next one. Take care. Bye for now. Happy dating.